next skill set we'll cover are our change of direction drills. When changing direction, there's a few points of emphasis that we must cover. The first thing, anytime you make a change of direction, the first thing you want to think about is lowering your center of gravity as you approach your cut by sinking your hips, bending your knees, and sitting your butt down and get yourself in a position to make that change. At this point, you want to place the foot that you'll cut off of in a perpendicular position to the angle that you're making the cut. So if I'm making a 90 degree cut in this case, straight down the line, I want to plant my foot right here so it's perpendicular to that line. If I'm making a 45 degree angle cut to go back to that cone down there, now I'm going to turn my foot a little bit so it's perpendicular to that line at a 45 degree angle. Okay, at this point, so if I'm making my 90 degree cut, I've got my hips sunk, and I'm in a position now where I can plant off of this flat foot right here. This foot will stay flat, okay, and my shoulder and my knee and my toe should be in line. I should be able to put a string there, and it should stay in a straight line all the way through. That's when you know your body's in a good position to drive out and make that change of direction. Okay, at this point now, I've got all my full flat foot in the ground. I'm going to drive off that flat foot, and now I'm going to cycle my opposite leg through by pulling my heel up towards my butt, my knee up towards my chest, and my toe up towards my knee. So I'm nice and low in a good position to drive out. I cycle that leg through, snap it back in the floor. That should be a quick action. You want to work on cycling it through and snapping it back in the floor and pointing this toe in the direction that you want to go. Okay, so I drive out, I point my toe, and drive out, I pump my arms hard and picking my knees up in the next cut. One last point of emphasis you want to think about as you approach that line to make the cut. As I sit down, I want to really work hard to keep my arms pumping. I should be driving my arms, rotating at the shoulder the entire way through the entire drill. Every time I change direction, every time I sprint, my arms should continue to pump. At that point, you're in good shape to make your change of direction, and we're rolling. We'll now show you a few different change of directions, and you want to make sure that you can carry over some of these skills to each of the drills that we'll do. The next skill we'll cover with our change of direction drills is coming out of a back pedal. First of all, we'll cover out how to get into a position to back pedal. Initially, you want to get yourself in a good position where your hips are lowered, you've sunk your hips, my knee is over my toe, my shoulders are over my knee, okay, and I've got my center of gravity down, all right? At that point, I can work to my back pedal. I want to make sure I continue to use my arms the entire way as I back pedal. Okay, once I get in this position to back pedal, I should never leave this position. I should stay at this level, this low level the entire time. All right, as I work the back pedal, I'm pumping my arms. Okay, and as I get to the cone where I need to change direction, at that point, I want to try and cycle my feet into the floor. So I get to my change direction, I'm going to pump my arms hard, cycle my feet, and drive back out of that change. We do not want to have you, if I get from the side view, I do not want to have you getting the back of your back pedal and taking a false step back here. At that point, you've taken one step and two steps, and you've gained no ground. So really work hard to keep that level down, cycle your feet to the floor, pump your arms hard, and burst back out, driving your knees as you leave the back pedal.